Here back at the Fantasy Bar, big Friday night in the NBA. I've got 6 guys for you, 4 guys under 6K on FanDuel. What teammates am I looking at tonight? What sub 6K player is approaching a 40% usage rate for his team? And a beast of the night at the cheapest prices on both sites all season long. Who we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Beers Daily Fantasy 6-Pack Friday edition. Of course, we are opening up the bar here leading into the weekend with 6 of my favorite plays on both FanDuel and DraftKings. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out the video. Now, before we get into the plays for Friday night on FanDuel and DraftKings, guys, do me a favor. Click that thumbs up button. That tells me you're having a good time here. You are enjoying the videos. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified when those videos are coming out. All right, 9 games on the docket today, and I've narrowed it down to 6 of my favorite plays. Let's start at point guard, shooting guard with COBY White of the Bulls. Now, I really like this for a lot of reasons. First of all, let's look at the recent production here, and kind of been average, kind of been meh from COBY White. Really haven't gotten some massive games. It hasn't been terrible, but we know a lot of people out there, that's still what they're looking at. They're looking at those box scores, so I think that'll help us out in the ownership department. Let's look at the matchup here. We go back to the other night. We're going to toot our horn a little bit. Had Fred VanVleet in the same spot against this Orlando Magic team. Went absolutely nuclear. So hopefully you guys got him in those lineups. But COBY White, a similar guy. And I know Zach LaVine, probably the better comp for a guy like Fred VanVleet at that shooting guard position. But the point is, a combo guard like this, I think, is going to give Orlando trouble all season long. So COBY White, cheap enough, under 6K on FanDuel here. We know the Magic have struggled against point guards. We just talked about it, but the fantasy points per game bear that out as well. 6 most allowed to this position. So COBY White cheap, a good matchup here, and going to be a staple of my lineups here on Friday night. All right, let's go to small forward, power forward, and we'll stay in that mid-range with DARIUS BAZLEY of the Thunder. Now we know the Thunder dealing with a lot of injuries, and this is a team you're going to want to really load up on here tonight in all formats. So we're going to start here with DARIUS BAZLEY. No Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously a huge one. George Hill remains out, and Lou Dort, we saw him get injured in that last game, also will miss this game. So that gives a nice bump here to DARIUS BAZLEY, who you're thinking those are all guards. Why does this give him a usage bump? Because he's got to score more. He's got to do more, especially with the loss of SGA. So over 3%, a nice usage bump there. Upside, he's shown us this many times this season. I know he's gone through kind of a lull here in the middle of the season, but that last game he really got back into form and showed us that 7-8x return we're going to get on these sub 6K salaries, and that's now 30 or more DraftKings points in 3 of the last 5 games. In fact, I think he does it here once again. I think he goes over 40 DraftKings points here in this matchup. Big fan of DARIUS BAZLEY tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, we've saved you. Let's spend some money at the small forward position. We're going to roll with Jimmy Butler of the Heat. Now, Butler been outstanding since coming back from injury, averaging over 48 DraftKings points a game over those 3 games. If we go back before the injury, that's now 44 more DraftKings points in 5 straight games here for Jimmy Butler. So delivering that solid floor you're looking for in cash games when you're paying these prices. We know the upside is there. Jimmy Butler, a triple-double waiting to happen. Hasn't gotten one yet, but has come damn close here. I think tonight could be the night against Washington. Miami projected for almost 120 points in this game. We know Washington plays very little D, involved in a lot of shootouts here, and you can happily pay those prices on Jimmy Butler. I think he has a big night here against the Washington Wizards. All right, let's go to the point guard position. Back to some value here with the returning Kemba Walker of the Celtics. So we saw Kemba sit out the other night, should be nice and rested here, and this is one of those pricing discrepancies we like to point out here. We look at the DraftKings price, $6,500. I'm fine with that. Then I see that discounted price over on FanDuel, just $5,700, and it's one I definitely want to take advantage of over there. Now let's take a look at some of the numbers here. Where are we getting these numbers? Right over on Court IQ on RotoGrinders. Make sure you guys are checking that out. But let's take Marcus Smart off the floor. We know he'll miss. Peyton Pritchard, questionable here tonight. So this is a hypothetical. But if those 2 are out, usage jumps to almost 31% for Kemba Walker. Let's take it one step further here, guys. Jaylen Brown, also questionable for this game. The usage jumps to almost 39% if Jaylen Brown is out in this game. Now, a limited sample there, no doubt. But the point is, Kemba Walker is in play regardless. It's not you can only play him if these guys are out. You can play him regardless. Even if Pritchard's back, I like Kemba Walker. Pritchard is out, gets even better. You can still play him if Jaylen Brown plays, and if he were out, Kemba Walker becomes a must play along with Jason Tatum. So no matter the scenario, Kemba Walker in play, especially over on FanDuel at only 5,700. All right, let's go to the shooting guard, small forward position. A guy I am locking in tonight to the majority of my lineups, HAMIDOU DIALLO of the Thunder. So I told you we're not done with OKC, and this guy I just want to get in my lineups. It's very simple. We talked about the injuries there at the guard position. Gonna have to play a ton of minutes. Gonna have to take a more aggressive approach offensively, and the numbers really bear that out. When you take those three guys off the floor, guess who leads the Thunder in usage? That's right, it's DIALLO at 27.5%. When we look at the matchup, Minnesota, bottom half of the league in fantasy points allowed to both shooting guard and small forward, so it doesn't matter the position he's playing. I like the stack here in this game. You can do it very cheaply, but I like DIALLO in all formats to have another big night here with some of those Thunder guys on the shelf. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. But before we do that, guys, we're going to continue our Beast of the Night contest. Free to play. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and guess fantasy points on FanDuel for my favorite play of the night. The closest guess will win themselves a free 3-day pass to RotoGrinders Premium or a free RotoGrinders t-shirt. Let's wrap this baby up before we head into the weekend. My favorite play for Friday night, you know, Mass, the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We owe you a center here. We're going to go with Andre Drummond of Cleveland, tonight's Beast of the Night. Now, Andre Drummond, I know, a hot topic. A lot of people worried about some things there with Cleveland. We'll talk about that here momentarily. Let's look at the last time these two teams played. Drummond went over 60 DraftKings points in that game, went absolutely nuclear, 26 points, 24 rebounds against the Bucks. Now, we know Milwaukee's been better against bigs, but it's still a position I think they are weak at, especially a guy of Drummond's ilk that can just dominate the glass. Brook Lopez, not very interested in rebounding. Bobby Portis has been a tremendous addition, but he's undersized, so a big man like Drummond can really dominate. Next, let's look at the prices. Not only is it the cheapest price we're getting on DraftKings here all season long at $8,200, but that FanDuel price as well came down $1,300 off of that down game. $7,500 easily the cheapest price you've seen on Andre Drummond all season long. So we talked about some of the concerns. That last game, people are going to factor that in. Jarrett Allen being in the house, they're going to factor that in. Definitely a high-risk play here, but I love the potential rewards here with Andre Drummond as well. So I have some egg on my face at the end of this, but I think he has another massive game here. Get him in those lineups. Andre Drummond, easily my favorite play for Friday night and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that wraps up for Friday night in the Fantasy Bar. Thank you, as always, for checking out the video. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Can also check me out over on Twitter at Beermakersfan. Go over to scoresandodds.com as well. Check everything out for all your sports betting needs. There's premium picks. Guys crushing it over there in NBA, in golf, college basketball. So make sure you check that out. And don't forget, every Wednesday night, the DFS OGs, Head Shopper, Notorious, and myself breaking down the entire NBA slate every Wednesday at 5:30. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck here tonight, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.